Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through the Carlton versus Western Bulldogs game. Some of you may have picked up yesterday that I had actually recorded this video, as well as the Port Adelaide St Kilda game, which we'll get to, and also a trade period for the men's 2024 in their fantasy relevance in 2025. Done all those videos, about 50 odd minutes of recording, and then did all the uploading of it, and then realized when the first one went live that the videos had no audio. So I don't know what happened there. I checked my mic and it seems all fine, so maybe I just didn't plug it in or something like that. But I guess we get to redo these, which it may come a little bit less analytical, I guess, because I'm now a day later on this, and I've probably forgotten a little bit, as well as the fact that other games have happened, etc. So there's probably other things that I'll know about stuff. But anyway, let's just jump into this video here. Maddie Goering with a 106. From memory, she started off pretty slowly and then just really hit gear in the second half. 32-37, that was mostly, I remember that because she, one, I already recorded this video too. She's one of the players that I have, so I sort of knew about it, and she's one of the ones that actually performed. If you actually look at my backline compared to what I said was a really pristine backline, pretty much out of the top 9 or whatever, my 5 were the worst 5 or whatnot. Like, there was 2 girls that went 100s, as well as so you had Newton Sheeran that went 100s, etc. You also had Daisy Darcy was the failure of the week. You also have Newman that's going to play, still going to play, and I think there's someone else that's still going to play in that back line, but mine were basically the ones that failed. So yeah, so Goering was the shining light, out of all my players this week, basically. And I mean, it doesn't really matter as the season's over, but I still should be able to get 1,500 ranking-wise. But yeah, Goering, she's going to be a star in the future because she's just got such a strong tackling base, as well as a really good marking base to go from. So yeah, 106 from her was huge. Mackay, 94, she did a lot of her work late on, was it? No, just sort of consistent, actually. Cordner, she was she was huge in the third quarter, as you see here, with a 43. That was mostly because there was 17 inside 50s to 1 from memory in that quarter, and they were all 17 were to the Western Bulldogs, and that just allowed them to just have it in there, and Cordner just needed to intercept everything that was there because they were just couldn't get it past halfway. Fitzgerald, 84, good 77, which was all right. 20 hit outs for her. Hill, 67, Shearer, 65. Bree Moody, 52, Dana Finn, 49. Dana Finn is sort of just always around that 50 marker now. We've sort of seen that. She did have that one big game, but aside from that, I haven't really seen anything, and I'm trying to just quickly search up if there's any injury updates on the girls here, because we did have the injuries to Alice Evans, so I'm just trying to see if there's any update from the Western Bulldogs about Edmonds, but I don't know if there will necessarily be an update about Edmonds here. Just quickly looking at it, twin, no, doesn't look like any update about Edmonds, which is slightly annoying. Let's just see this injury report here, because she was the injury that was the mainstay of the injury report of the injuries of the game. Goals, Western, yeah, it was an ankle injury, and Vessia was a delayed concussion going into this game. But aside from that, there was no other injuries. So yeah, talking about Dana Finn, sorry about the sidetrack there, but yeah, she's just sort of middling it out right now. And I don't know with that wing roll if she'll ever actually score more than that, because we know that the wing roll doesn't tend to really score well in the women's game comparative to the men's game. It also doesn't score well, but because of the wing roll in the men, due to the tactics or the characteristics of the men's game, you can get scorers like Aaron Gordon, who can play slightly on ball, that can also score well on the wing because they have higher mark numbers in the men's game. Brown, Finn, Moody as well, 40. So for those of you who jumped on the ship with me, I projected yesterday it was about 60 to 70k cash gen. You can go and you can work that out on the Jane's page there. And yeah, so really good cash in there, which will help because I'm probably going to have to use Oliver and Dersma Oliver Dersma and maybe a Serene Watson or maybe a Daisy Darcy up to a Newton who looked really, really good. But we'll see how that goes. Maybe even a Goldrick up to Newton. Maybe that'll be the way to go. Ortlep, Lawson Devan, Goss, Velado, Peterson, Austin, Pound, and we can just skip over here. And one thing that I definitely remember talking about is Pritchard and the links and characteristics to Bontempelli. 25, 4 and 7, and a 1-goal-1 for a 107 was a huge game from her. Outstanding, especially after such a slow start. She got up to 47 at halftime based on 44 in the second, and pretty sure she kicked a goal in the fourth quarter, I want to say, late on to get to a 107. Carruthers 106, 9 tackles, huge from her, 23 touches. Fitzgerald 104. Hartwig kicked 2 goals late in the last quarter to get to an 84. Grigg, I really like to see as well, kicked a goal, I believe, late on as well to get to 81, 35 in the last quarter. But one thing I do like about Grigg is this really strong tackle base. So if she does actually find a way or a role that she can get really good touches in or amount of disposals, I think she'll be a fancy prospect for the future, but I don't know if they'll necessarily transition her on ball like we've seen with Holly Cooper. Holly also had another good game sort of for half forward for midfield yesterday as well against Gold Coast, where she had strong tackle numbers. But the issue for these two girls is they probably don't have the best ball use, which is probably a thing that they need to improve on, but they're obviously young, so more pre-seasons will help them out. Woodley 70, Berry 69, Gorham, Bennett, Wilcox, Georgia, Stafford 53, McGee 49. Now McGee and Edmonds, I'm going to talk about them in tandem here. Edmonds 48, 22 hitouts, but went down late in the last quarter, I believe with about 10 minutes to go. As you see here, 4 in the last quarter. And she got injured. If you look at the Western Bulldogs, we went through this and I actually had to look on the fantasy side itself. I believe their other ruckman, Borg, is out for the year with a knee injury or an injury itself. Edmonds, I suspect, will be out for the year with an ankle injury. It looks bad. And that basically means that they have no other ruck. You see here that there was no other ruck in this game here. I don't know if they necessarily have a tall forward that they bring into ruck before McGee. But McGee could become a fancy prospect for the last couple rounds, because if she gets into the ruck line, then you could that could be really, really useful. And then also, yeah, so that is just one to watch there. Especially, yeah, the rucks are just going down like flies. O'Dowd might have injured herself as well, so there's a lot of injury report chaos for the ruck line in the next couple of days. But McGee is definitely a watch as she gets to the solo status, because that F5, F6 area could be F5, could easily just be slotted in with McGee there, and then you just have extra cash, I guess, on hand. You'd have another 300k to make an upgrade somewhere else. Edmonds, for like, I could have to sacrifice maybe a Tripodi or something like that in the last game or last week if McGee scores well or something, to get up to like Strom against McGee. I think she has McGee maybe in the last week, which yeah could do it right. Good next, Smith, Kimber, Weston Turner, Butterfant, McFarlane, and Grant. And then that's basically the video there. I wanted to keep it a little bit shorter, given that I've got to record a couple more game reviews today. And also I'd forgotten like half the stuff that actually happened in this game, given it's another day onwards. But Carlton get blown away by the Western Bulldogs. Western Bulldogs respond after not kicking a goal in the first 2 games of October, so it was good to see the Western Bulldogs get the win. Also helps the Swans out, because I'm pretty sure if I look at the AFLW ladder, the Western Bulldogs actually jumped the Swans, and I'm pretty sure Carlton were already ahead of the Swans, but I could be wrong. Carlton were already ahead of the Swans, and the Western Bulldogs jump Carlton and the Swans, and currently Geelong. So I don't think Sydney only have really Collingwood that could potentially jump them, in my opinion, and Collingwood have Carlton, who they could beat in the final couple rounds. GWS has potentially Port Adelaide they could beat, but we'll see about that. If GWS beat Port Adelaide, Sydney could finish bottom 2. I don't think Gold Coast has a winnable game in their last couple games. So yeah, Western Bulldogs have somehow managed to get to three wins and a potential for maybe 4. I just need to check their schedule here quickly. Who do they have? St Kilda. Don't expect them to win that. And then they have Fremantle. Don't expect them to win that, and that's where Strum's going to dominate if they don't have a realistic ruckman. So Western Bulldogs are probably going to finish on 3 wins, and it will probably be enough to get them probably 14th or so, give or take. And that's a pretty fair effort for what we were seeing out of them. But anyway, that is the video there. If you did enjoy it, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and I will see you guys in the next game recap. Bye guys.